You know, tomorrow is the conference, Universal Council Conference in Rome. We are in Rome, and the developers of what you see on the table are sitting just about a couple of meters away from me. They are here with us, and we have joined the conference. A number of people have arrived and arriving. They are here. I can explain to them how the system works and why it doesn't work. It's the balance system. They're from Austria. They were telling me they come with a Tesla car. And we know they go in Tesla charging batteries. And they're telling me somebody in Austria has used one of the old maggrav systems of the Keshe Foundation on the Tesla car and is getting 100 kilometers more per charge. So the interaction, but they don't see things on their car. So we try to understand more, but you have to understand you need a starter capacitor, pump, compressor, and the other one has to be different. You have to create a difference that it allows for you to absorb the energy. The balance condition does not create the flow which you're looking for, that the difference you can pull. At the moment it works now. Continuing what I just announced, that we are in Rome, there are a number of things which we have to announce that it makes it very clear. First of all, as you know, we are involved in the Italian earthquake situation. We have found out a very big problem. There is a lot of material has arrived from Germany, Austria, France, and other places into Italy, but we cannot deliver them to the Italians. The problem being is that we are working with the civil defense organizations, and to be able to use these technologies at the point of disaster, we have come to understand the government has to give and allow us the permit to be able to use them. So if you are in anywhere part of the world that you think or you might want to use, or there's a possibility in the future to use these technology for disaster relief, please sign yourself immediately with your civil defense if they want to test, if they want a backup. So the Italian government is working with the Keshe Foundation, trying to find a shortcut that we get a permit to disperse the material across the country to the people who need it. There are about 10,000 people in camps, tents, and all sorts of places from the disaster. So one of my advice to you is, if you are part of the Keshe Foundation team around the world, please contact your civil defense first line and explain to them, we can give you all the support in the background, that you can submit application form needed to be tested, that in time of disaster you make a lot of things but you cannot deliver it, and at the same time you become part of the international war relief condition for the process. The Keshe Foundation, we've been told, the next week or two will be given by the civil defense to enter the delivery of the system, which we hope will be done. So if you are in the lines of first line of defense of delivering these materials for different application, we have come now through experience to understand you need to deliver the civil defense, the application that your material can be used. On the other hand, we have come to understand further need for spreading volunteers who will be prepared and are ready to deliver and make these systems at a time of need. What it means, you don't need to produce the GANs materials, or maybe you make 100 or 50 of them as a backup, but we keep you on the system as a backup disaster unit, which means we can come to you and say, we need so many units, can you supply? Or you have a bunch of volunteers who supply immediately or can make it. We're trying to set a structure up in that position. From the Italian disaster, we're learning a lot, where our weaknesses are, where we have to do certain work, and where the work is. The civil defense people are very surprised with this technology and are making a shortcut for us. But the beauty with this shortcut is when it's applied and given by civil defense to be used by people in time of disaster, automatically it becomes part of the rules and regulations of the country, because it's been applied. So it's tested and it has the support, and you find out the development and interaction very rapidly. So if you are in a process to support come in. Come in. Hi, Giovanni. Giovanni just arrived with us. Hi. So he can explain to you. You just walked in the right time. Come, Giovanni. I let Giovanni to explain to you.
Yes, okay.
Good. You have to explain the problems you have.
Oh, thank you. Good morning to everybody. I'm just arrived. I explain situation for the problem of first aid in Italy. We have set up as a task force for the emergency of the earthquake, and we start to talk with the government for have all the certification for so in this way we can be recognized from the government as a first aid of emergency for the people. And so the next time, this is a big advantage for us, because it's the first time that we are starting public, and we are recognized. And so we start with a story in Italy of this kind of first aid. We are organizing this way. We have a squad, 4 people that are specialized in this case. One of them is a person that was for many years practice with government in this kind of emergency. And we have 2 units, mobile unit, like caravan, for go to the place and give the patch, the paint pen, and so on. Plus, there is another squad that on Sunday can be on the place, that are all with cross motors, because a lot of zone of that area is impossible to arrive, because all the streets are completely destroyed, and the only system that is possible to arrive it's a cross motor. So we have a talk with the association of this kind of motors, and they offer to us the help for arriving in this zone. Now we are started to collect all the material guns, and we are ready to start. But before to start, we want to have a green light from the government. Is not maybe that in less than 10 days we have, because we have a different wave to have. So I don't think that is a big problem. This is the first step. After we want to create, we are start of this a different point, each one for region, that have this kind of organization for give help to the people that have this problem. Maybe that it's possible that arrive another earthquake in Italy, and so we want to be ready to give a support to the people. So we start to create some places, if Mr. Cash says that it's okay, where we can give and teach the technology, and give with a small store for of patch, guns, and so on. So in case the emergency, we are ready to help the people. This is the program is a hard program, and but it's we have the agreement for the first point that is in Termoli. The next one may be in Lucera. The third one may be in Cosenza, and we still work for this. We have a program. I have prepared this with some person that work with me, and Sukesh, when he wants, if you give me to me, it's good. We can start. There is no problem. I'm very. This is the first time that I speak to the public from a lot of time. The first thing that I want to say thank you to Sukesh and his wife for all the support for my family and my situation, because it was very, very important for me, his support. And I want to tell thank you from my deep heart to all to you for all the support, all the praying and the things that you have said to me, because in this case it's simple to lose the mind, but it's necessary to make a big effort to understand what the Creator asks to me and make the correct thing. So I have a big problem with my daughter, but I know that it's necessary to put more effort because my daughter is one of humanity, and so the same humanity needs. And so I push in all direction for give what is possible, the best is possible for me, for help the people. Thank you, Sukesh. Thank you. Thank you. It's a lot of times I wanted to say this.
This is what we are learning now. This is what you need to do. We see this applicable very much in earthquake zones. We've seen the line of earthquake which is coming up, and this process needs to be understood. You have to set up a structure for aid. You have to set up the process for aid. It cannot be done and then it's a point we have to rush to do it because it's happened. Those of you who need to support or you wouldn't want to support, you understood what Giovanni said. We think we want to do, you got to understand, even this motorbike system we start talking about to deliver the goods, in a time of disaster, civil forces will not allow you to cross unless you have a permit that you're delivering material for rescue. Because a lot of people trying to get to their families or whatever, they create more problems. But having a permit from the civil defense organizations allows you to enter and deliver. This is how crucial it is. If you are working on this line, please get in touch with your civil defense. Start building a trust, start delivering the technology, and let them test it. We are learning by experience, we're learning by what is happening around us in different trials. We've seen the same thing in China, the same process. But once we pass as part of the first step in Italy, as a part of civil defense, we can pass on that permit to the rest of the world that you can show in Italy is accepted as a civil defense support. It makes it easier for you to achieve it. The other point is, as you know, we are in Italy and we have attended the conference. We are here to see the conference, to go through. As I said before, people like me and Mr. Westinghouse, we are a backup. We are not in the position of ourselves. We are here to support our wives. They are the members of the council or the, what do you call it, general secretary of the council. So we are here as a supporter of the wives, not that in any other capacity, because we have no say in this condition. There's about 3 or 4 husbands who are turning up and wives will be just bystanders. We have no say in the organization and what happens. This is how it will change. We If you are, or you want to support your councils or councillors, the supporting teams, you get your instructions from the councils the way they see it, their wishes are. It's not the instructions, it's what they see and what they feel and what they get from the discussions in the councils. We expect, and we are receiving some 20 plus members of the council here. There are a number of them, 4 or 5 of them online, on Zoom line, which they participate. And then new members of the council as they come. We reach the 144 according to the understanding and what we call the security structure. For us to attend this conference was a very high risk. There's an attempt on my life and my wife's life set by Simon Smith in Paris to kill both of us in this process or by kidnapping our child. We informed this in public. Any step taken by Simon Smith or group he supports, we will respond heavily. This is not accusation or we're trying to pre-attempt. These are what we are informing. Security Service of Italian Force and French Force and the German Force are aware of this action of Mr. Simon Smith. All the documents is in the hand of Interpol. We are releasing this information on the basis that we know what you're up to and what you're about to do. Security has been set by the Italian forces and the French forces to capture you on move. Mr. Simon Smith, you have caused mayhem. You're not our problem. The problem is you and yourself. The kidnapping and the killing of a child on the 11th of September, which is on Sunday, falls with the same day after the slaughtering of the Prophet who gave his son as a slaughter. And in Islamic religion, they celebrate it. And this was your plan. We have unfolded and security services are on top of you. You wanted to use my son, now we answer you very heavily. We take every member of your family in hand and all the forces you set up to create chaos. We have set and met with all the security forces. We are aware of the French people who have moved into France and into Italy, and we are monitoring. I have had a huge discussion with security force of the President of the Italy yesterday and with the forces of the Italian military, what do you call it, defense or the police. So unfortunately, you have two choices. You carry out your threat or you back off. Either way, we know what is happening and what is about to happen. We have monitored your movement and security forces and my security forces allowed and said not to discuss. But we know exactly what you've done and who pays you and how you've been financed by Mossad. And we have all the companies you set up where you receive the money. The information is in the hand of Interpol, not us anymore. Let me explain to you what is about to happen. Maybe it will not happen now that we disclose it. The Jewish state has financed crisis in Europe by financing the Muslims to attack churches and priests, as they did on the 5th of November last year, killing a priest, to start conflict between the religions, where the benefit goes back to the people who set it up. If you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, protect, go to the other side and protect the churches and the priests. We have informed Vatican of this move. There are attempts to create mayhem, and through this mayhem using the religion to create the next step of wars in Middle East and in Europe. We have unraveled through communication, through our security and other forces, this is what it is, and the Jewish people, heads of Jewish community in Paris are fully aware of this setup. We asked the Muslims and the Jews to join each other and stand next to each other, Christians and the Muslims, to protect each other's mosques and churches and the priests. Do not give into this violence which is financed. We have found all the companies, the structure which is financing this violence. We put it open. Does not matter if our website is brought down. If we can save the life of one priest, one mullah, one rabbi, we have served our purpose with this teaching today. The financing has come through sale of the Coils Cash Foundation Magraph systems in France as a cover-up to see who are the supporters and how they could infiltrate. So we have the whole process, we understand the whole process. This is incited. We have the communication with both Red Circle and Sam Smith on the same channels of Facebook hidden, communicating with each other, planning the kidnapping, that Valletta is not safe for me and my son and my family. Interpol is in full control, and the copies of this are in the hand of the federal police. If any mosque or my family is touched, or my son, we will revenge in such a way that there will be no name of Islam left. And the same, as we said, we do the same with the Jews. We become one nation, one religion, one family, and protect each other, or we allow these people who will try to create mayhem. The financing comes directly from the state of Israel to create and initiate this job. The same as we saw no Jews dying in the 11th of September because the Jews were in the two towers were informed there is going to be such an attack. The same thing is set for this 11th till 25th of September of this year to attack churches and mosques on the name of the religion. It has nothing to do. They have found a weak people and they have paid them, and that they are doing. They run a pre-test in Tehran in 31st of July of this year to see how they can provoke these attacks. All the videos and the operations is shared by the security services. The place, us, where we are, is fully protected by the security services. We carry fully armed officers with us as of today. Any approach to me or my family, it means loss of life for those who have pre-planned it. So we had two choices: to keep silent and let the process go, but inform everybody what is planned, and knowing that what is planned to be the speech on the 12th of September on the interrogation of me and my wife and the killing of our child is fully unraveled. We won't allow it to happen. We brought heavy armed officers and we protect our lives against Mr. Simon Smith and his group. All your channels have been watched and monitored by security services. This is all incited by Red Circle. We are asking for the warrant of his arrest for attempted murder of a child who he actually, as he said, pissed in the garden in front of him. So now you know how the abusers and pedophiles operate. This is important and is my message to all of you. If you stay and survive this attack which is planned, or by announcing it, they will stop it and they find another way to do it, is to unite. Doesn't matter in what religion you are. Don't allow these provocations of religion to come into uniting the humanity. This is part of the structure. This is part of what we have to be stronger with the new technology to finally crosses the borders of the religion. It comes to what we can serve to change the condition. My security people are pulling their hairs out why I disclosed, but that's their problem. They don't sit in my chair. But we listen to our security advisors, we listen, we are completely, continuously advise different field forces of the security. They help us, we help them to monitor the people who operate around us. If you don't know who Sam Smith is, he's in every violence presentation in Paris you've seen in past few weeks. And it's been reported. He has put it in there that they will bring Caroline and me to put an end into it. You have two choices. You put an end to my life and I put an end to all the aggressions. We release. We have a website. You can see what we tell you and what the security services would like to tell you. We released the website that all the detail on Mr. Simon Smith. He is a Tunisian background. He is not handicapped. He took over and got to know a lot of French Keshe Foundation supporters that he could infiltrate. We've been monitoring, we have been monitoring all the activities as we do with everything else. So we have two choices. We give you a link as it's available to all the national securities at the moment with all the details of Mr. Simon Smith. You can go in and understand how they operate, where their finances comes from. They are bankrupting companies in France in millions and financing terrorism to put the Christians against the Muslims in Europe to create a new mayhem. They did a trial run 15th of November last year in killing a priest in France. And they are going to repeat the same thing, firing and all sorts of things at the priests and the churches starting from 11th of September to repeat. It's the wisdom of the people. As we are one nation, one government, we don't rely on the police forces and the government security apparatuses to help us. We inform the one nation, which is the Keshe Foundation supporters, what is about to happen. It's all planned safely, and you've seen why recently the Red Circle has started putting all sorts of things on the internet, because we have seen the operation. We saw the same kind of a slander with Allen before his arrest. This is the way they react, trying to cover the point. We have asked for the warrant for the arrest and bringing these people into justice in Italy as we unveil more and more information. We release on the line, you can see the pictures and the entry of Mr. Sam Smith and Red Circle next to each other, how they communicate with each other. So it means they are well collaborating. We saw the same kind of communication between Alan Sterling and Red Circle. So we understand the implication and application. It's important for those of you who are in Europe, especially in Italy, Milan, Torino, Bari, Rome, Berlin. I can read you a summons for a resume of the places of attack which is expected and our security forces see possibility of. Most of the major European cities which is connected to Christianity, they would like to provoke Muslims against Christians, but the whole finance is being paid by Israeli state. To put the two against each other the way they did, they don't lose anything of theirs, but a lot of Christians and Muslims died in the two towers on the 11th. Now the single Jewish law applies. And it was fully examined, fully prepared, and I can testify to it because, as you know, my family, I come from a very deep Kohen family of Jewish background. We had, as a member of our larger family, 2 offices on 2 floors of the 2 towers. On the day of accident, I was online speaking to my cousins and my uncles in New York, and they said it's no problem, we couldn't get to the office. I thought it's very strange how only they couldn't get to this office and they were not in. So they were fully informed beforehand not to be in. As a Iranian Jewish background, it became very strange. I explained to my mother at that time next to me, they knew, because I've seen the same operation in my working life in Northern Ireland, where, for example, where IRA was to bomb a shop in the Protestant side, suddenly the sales dropped. The shops could not see sales. And we always predicted that's going to be an attack, and there was a bomb because the community always to inform they didn't want to lose any Catholics, and the Protestants is the same. How we know this? I used to own a shop in Belfast as part of our cooperation, and my manager told me, Mehran, the sales has dropped in 2 days. I said, get all the rubbish we have in, they're going to blow us up, and they blew us up that night. So we have a full experience. We're talking from background experience working with security services. Do not allow these people to be paid and done. The name of the companies financing this violence, the whole operation is about 30 companies set up to hide the finances of these attacks on churches, on the priests, and blame the Palestinians or blame the Muslims is all paid, same as the, what we call 9/11. We don't make accusation, we have hard evidence, and the evidence has already been shared with the Italian security services and the French security service and Interpol across Europe. We can release you with a specific passcode which is given to the security services to monitor all the details. We have opened up. It is some 30, 40 companies which are financing it, but they're using the Arabs or the Jewish Arabs from Morocco, from Tunisia, from Morocco, what do you call it? different northern African countries to infiltrate and bring people in and do the violence to the benefit of their paymasters. All the companies they brought in 10, 5, 6 million into bankruptcy in past 3 or 4 years to finance these has gone. If you've seen, Mr. Simon Smith has got involved in making coils to find out who's in Maghreb business in the France to bring it in and creating finance for these kind of violences. They transferred material into cash for violence using the Cash Foundation technology. We have all the videos, we have all the materials, we can support our claim. This was done exactly in Northern Ireland where the IRA was financing, paying people to do. Trafficking using materials to finance violence by paying the soldiers. We see the same pattern. I was involved with Northern Ireland peace process, as you know. I only asked our security services to open up and see if we can find the same track. Within 2 days, we found all the materials we needed to know. My experience with my work with the British MI5, MI6 and others, it was very easy for us to find where the money is and how the process is. We can release all the materials we have from IRA peace process to show we are correct in the attack on the name of Islam on the Christians that the mayhem starts in Europe. The German government, as part of this process, has been aware, but they could not stop it. They asked their citizens to back up and have food and everything because of the emergency which might come up. This is what you have to understand. Do not allow, there is nothing wrong with Islam. Blessed Muhammad is name, the same as Blessed Muhammad is Christ. It's the greed of the man and the name of the religion which is used by these people to create this mayhem. Record this recording and pass it across the internet, because it'll be you, your children, your family, the priest you believe in, and those who serve humanity will become the martyrs of this movement by this, what I call a scandalous move from the state of Israel on Christians and Muslims, and some Jews will lose their life too. My life is irrelevant, but what we achieve as one nation is more important. This is very clear. We brought armed officers to protect us. But what has been planned by Red Circle in assassinating my child because he couldn't abuse it before, and now you see the pictures of him next to Uncommon Communication Line on Facebook. The two talking to each other and telling that the place, Barletta, is not safe for my son anymore, and saying what they're going to do with Caroline and me on Sunday, and then broadcast it on Monday on the 12th. Now they're going to deny, but we release the link on the internet for you to download and see the pattern of the work and how who's been financing it. This is important because we knew the risk. We had two choices: not to attend the conference or attend the conference and open the doors. We attended the conference because we had nothing to lose. We shared everything with the public. Why not this part? And I have one advice for those who incite violence on the name of the religion. There is no religion there left for those who incite violence. We've been told not to interfere with the process of elections in the United States government. I announce one thing very simply. Mrs. Hillary Clinton was in Iran during the time the regime of Mr. Ahmadinejad. I was the mediator. There was always a dispute that what happened. In that landing in Ahvaz airport, the crash happened. One of the Mrs. Hillary Clinton's securities died. Mrs. Hillary Clinton received a heavy brain damage, was shipped from Tehran, from Ahvaz to Dubai, Washington. We offered, with the acceptance of the Iranian government, the support of the Cash Foundation technology for a brain hemorrhage she received. And now we see that brain damage, hemorrhage, in the process of election attacking her, and she's behaving as part of the brain hemorrhage reactions. And there's been a doubt where she received it, how she received the brain damage. Brain damage was received exactly 14 days after the meeting of the Cash Foundation, me, with the American officials in Brussels, where we started the peace process on a move between two countries. She was supposed to land in Ahvaz, meet with President Ahmadinejad, who was present in the airport, to start the peace negotiations. And in that crash, accidental crash, the accident happened and Mrs. Hillary Clinton was damaged. But Mrs. Hillary Clinton has a heavy support in the Jewish lobby. And they tried to kill many people who could state. As you know, we were the instigators of the line. Now you can go back. We released our meeting with, on the request of the President Obama, on the 6th of November, our meeting with the Americans in Brussels, which you've seen, we announced it. And within 2 weeks after that, the meeting between the President Ahmadinejad and Mrs. Hillary Clinton to stop the peace talks started. And she landed in the south on a trip to Israel, that she could pass the message, what is the peace process, what Israelis will agree. The head injury happened. This is total accident. It happened. Nobody can say it. How it happened, we cannot explain it. It was a mechanical failure. The proof of this is, if you go on the Iran press about 2 weeks after the accident, the Iranian head of Ahvaz airport announced that we are holding an American jetliner on the runway of the Ahvaz airport after an accident. This jetliner was carrying Mrs. Clinton for negotiation with peace with Iran, where we started it. We carry enough information. We don't blame Mrs. Clinton, but we celebrate her courage. I asked the Iranian President's office and His Excellency and His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei that if we can offer the support to the White House for Mrs. Clinton, and it was accepted. And we have all the communication on our servers we can show. It should not be a negative point that she was in Iran negotiating. It's a positive point in accepting the steps of the process. If you look at the end of that month, Mrs. Hillary Clinton withdrew from the cabinet of President Obama because she was mentally damaged, in brain damage in accident that was. What we tell you is historically there and you can check. We don't see the process to damage either side of the peace negotiations with Iran, and the negotiation carried on with a new team which was elected to come into power, which is the present Iranian, which we see at the moment in power. It took a lot of courage from these people to negotiate, to go against the grain of 30 years of fighting. The same as it took with the Belfast between IRA and the other side. But we've seen the fruit of the peace talk. We've seen the initiation of the exchange of the USB stick, and then 15 days later, on the 15th, actually less than 15 days later, 9 days later, on the 15th of November, we met, as is officially announced, and 2 weeks later, Mrs. Clinton was in Ahvaz airport as part of the peace negotiation. This should not be used by the other side that she was or she wasn't. It took a lot of courage from man of strength to initiate, even to enter Iran. The president of Iran accidentally wasn't in the airport. He was present for the peace talk to stop this first process. And these people are men of peace, and we have to respect them. If Mrs. Clinton is damaged mentally due to this accident, had a reason, but should not be used against her because it took a lot of strength to initiate the next step. And we have seen the fruit after this work. Now in Iran, children receive equipments that it saves their life. Their life is becoming back to normality for the people who lost so many. So when we inform you that we have, and we know the attack is set for the priest, and then retaliation on the Muslims, and being starting of mayhem, it has to go public. We opened the channels. Our people who can open these channels are available. We give you the passcode. You can all go and download everything. How it's been set up, how it's financed, who is financing it, and who they are. They say Sam Smith is a police informer. He says he's a Jew. It's irrelevant. If he's an informer, what is he to do with threatening other scientists and other people's life? This is the problem they have to solve between themselves. Police has opened a file. We are closely monitoring and speaking to both securities and across Europe. We don't make accusation. We have everything in hard copy and it's been shared with the intelligence and the police. Be wise and spread the knowledge if you are a Christian to the churches across. We have informed Vatican in our meeting yesterday. And be aware that this is nothing to do with Islam or the Muslims. If you are a Muslim across Europe, go to the churches and say as a support that you will not allow it to happen. This is what we have to do. And the same from the other side. Don't let greed of a few bring a mayhem into Europe. It is well planned. We can even give you the people, the faces of the people who are operating in the background. Women have been used to finance, to transfer the documents. We have their pictures, we have their faces. You have to understand a lot of the things you buy from the Keshe Foundation pays for these kind of work. Every penny we have goes back into every aspect of securing, developing new technologies, supporting the people who support the foundation. We do not go and ask for donations. We create the finances to create that we can donate our time and knowledge to the others. According to the intelligence we have, any donation to the Keshe Foundation is blocked on its arrival if they cannot or they would like to stop it. That we stop. But the support of you with what you buy or what you get from the Keshe Foundation allows us to finance these kind of intelligence. We carry more intelligence support, terabytes of it, that we keep for our work. This is part of it, belongs to you. And now that we see a point of change on the 11th of September to cause mayhem, you paid for it, we stored it, we gathered it, we paid for our intelligence services to work in the background. Even the Italian police and the French police are so surprised how a foundation has such a elaborate structure of the intelligence inside it and gathers information. Because we're becoming one nation. We're becoming as part of a nation. You have to see our weaknesses and vulnerabilities. This is what you pay for when you buy a book. I take, as I said, what I need. The rest of it pays for gathering the information. If we can stop one priest to be killed by these people who've been paid by the paymasters, we have well paid for all the work we've done. If we can do the same, one Islamic or Muslim child to be killed on the revenge, we have achieved the same power. As I said, we don't structure the Keshe Foundation and the Universal Council without the backup. The Universal Council takes place tomorrow on the 9th of the 9th of the 9th, which is the end of all the problems for humanity. The Council makes decision on Saturday the 10th, which is the beginning for the humanity as a council. The day's been chosen specifically to be and to coincide. So in a way, what we give you is the information from the past order, how they've been trying to disturb, and from tomorrow the new order starts. This is what we have to understand, and it's important how the things go. We've been monitoring. We had 108, 190 odd people, and the French were sitting to support how to attack. They disappeared. We are down to 157. So a lot of people who sit on the chat rooms, now they know we know, and we're keeping a track of all your IDs. Good morning. We see it drop from 190. From the second we announced that we know the process, they were trying to attack, now they all disappeared. We are 100% correct. We have armed officers accompanying me, Caroline, and our child, and the police security visible. We protect our lives, but at the same time, you have to answer to your government. All the details of those who are inciting the violence has been kept and well recorded. The Jewish state's financing, all the companies, how many millions they got into bankruptcy to finance this by feeding the money into violence to set up these all violences in Paris, in Berlin, all has been kept, and we have it, and it's in the hand of the security services. All the directors of these companies in France will be arrested in due time for financing violence in Europe. I hope you appreciate how you have financed peace with this. If we can stop the attacks, now it's in public. We informed the Italian police and the French police, and there has been a meeting in past 7 days between the French and the British securities, how to avoid these things in mainland and in the United Kingdom, starting from the 11th to the 15th and 25th of September to carry on. But if we knew what we know now, we would have stopped the 9/11 September of the two towers, which was preset. And now we can, as one nation, stop this to happen to all of us. Does not matter if you're a mullah or a priest or a what you call Jewish rabbi. A life is precious, and those who try to use it have to understand the position. We have made a full dossier of the connection between Red Circle and the whole organizations, how they operate, how they contact, how they operate, how they do things. Keshe Foundation facts is to create as much mayhem that the reality, the fact about them doesn't show, but we have 1.8 terabytes of information. The whole information has been opened 4 weeks ago to the Italian security services. So it's not something new. We gave them the access code, and they were surprised how a foundation has such an elaborate security operation. We protect the world's citizens. It's my job as the head of the foundation till the council sets its own rules to protect. We spend huge amount of money gathering information, storing information, and sharing information with the national security services. Any questions? Or have I been talking to myself?
No, we're here, Mr. Keshe.
I hope we managed to convey the message that everyone knows what is planned and we are wise to it. We have released, we need the time for the governmental securities that the people in Paris who are inciting this, what do you call it, mayhem, can be arrested and monitored. That by releasing, people do not take revenge on the companies that work as work. But it's a very elaborate, it is extremely large setup, and it's the same finance and funding that I saw in Northern Ireland with IRA. So having the experience with Northern Ireland, it was very easy for me where to look for the tools to find out. And it was very easy for our research group and securities to literally open up the belly of the terrorist organization and the name of religion. There is nothing wrong with Christianity, and there is nothing wrong with Islam, and there is nothing wrong with whatever the belief you have. Is when they use the religion to create mayhem for them to benefit by it, this is where the problem comes. We share the same intelligence with the Chinese government, that they're aware what is happening around the world, because there is huge investments by the Chinese in the West. Their interest has to be protected. I'm due to meet the Chinese ambassador in the coming hours, and the same intelligence report will be handed to them on both sides of the fence. You're happy, Giovanni? No problem. Giovanni and I have been working very heavily to create this security for European citizens. Even during our holiday time, we bothered the security services beyond belief that they are shocked that we carry intelligence office. And it's part of our work. Pardon? You can put this on site. Give the link to better not to do. There is a report I've just been shown by Stanley, that death of the seal and injury of Clinton was announced at the time, but nobody knew how this happened. It's just on the internet. You can send the link to Rick, that you can see what we're talking about. We are part of the.
Do you want me to show that link, Mr. Kesh?
You see the picture of Mr. Ahmadinejad and Obama next to each other?
Let me see. I have to get back into where. I'm not sure where that was. Chat.
Have you received? Have you sent it to Rick?
Yeah, I saw it, but I got all mixed up. There were so many links that got sent to me all at once that I had to put them away because I got too many.
On the Zoom. The last one on the Zoom.
Yeah, I can't even find my Q&A in the Zoom right now.
Send.
Just a minute.
It's on the private message of the conference.
Yeah.
You see that we're not talking because they all happened at the same time frame of work, and there are communications between the Keshe Foundation and the White House at the time of the injury of Hillary Clinton. We are offering the support and the technology of the Keshe Foundation for recovery. We were aware of it internally as the organizers of the peace work between Iran and 5+1, as we came later on and we achieved peace. A lot of work was done by Hillary Clinton and then the new head of state, Secretary of State, to achieve this. This is the picture. The European Union Times. Would you like to read the top? It says Clinton injured.
It says Clinton injured U.S. Navy SEAL killed in secret U.S. mission to Iran. So
this was, you can see the date.
Yes, December 30th, 2012. So it's what, about 4 years ago.
Yes.
Do you want me to read this paragraph here and so on?
No, it's okay, because the injury happened early December. And if you go further, it takes people like Hillary Clinton a lot of courage. We gave the confidence to the American government in the handing over of the USB stick of the patents that we mean peace. And His Excellency President Obama accepted it. It was hard to swallow that the two nations could talk. And a decision was made by Obama and Hillary Clinton. We take the step, we take a chance. And the Iranian government responded accordingly. Ahwaz is one of the furthest points in Iran map and the nearest point to Dubai. Accidental landing was supposed to be the point of discussion. And the sincerity to support Hillary Clinton after the accident showed the sincerity of the work of the nation. And it just built on. There was a small, what they call, position regarding Ahmadinejad with Americans, which was not acceptable. But with the new president coming into operation with the support of American government, it was taken out and the negotiation could carry on. Just look at the dates of the handing over, the announcement on the day of the American election, 6th of November, meeting of the Keshe Foundation on the 15th, and 2 weeks later of the meeting of the Iranian American to start a peace talk. It takes a lot of courage for people like us as a peace negotiators to stop these things, to start these negotiations. The same is between Iran, what we are trying to do between the American and the Chinese in the South China Sea. We exchange knowledge, technology for peace, energy for peace. And this has to be understood. All the communications to White House in respect to Hillary Clinton can be released. We have all kept copies, hard copy. The way we showed the request of the President Obama for accepting the key through the ambassadors of America in Brussels. Man of peace needs a lot of courage, and we have all the courage to be able to deliver it. And we've been involved with the Northern Ireland, learned. We were involved with the peace between Iran and United States, we learned. And now we have enough strength and knowledge to carry peace across the planet. And this is what we have and what we do. I can read you an extract with the Chinese leadership in respect to our move in past 2 weeks between China and America after the Washington presentation. Both sides know their weaknesses and both sides know what we can deliver. It's how we enter peace talks that both sides keep faith and no jobs are lost. But in fact, there are more jobs to be created with this technology than we lose. Those who are the fear-mongering are to be benefited by it. The first jobs we see, we just announced at the beginning, Arizona factory, by start producing these coils and the others, employs more people, needs to employ to meet the demand. And it's done by the Americans. We don't import from another place. We deliberately choose country by delivery. The same with the Chinese. The Chinese cash foundations work directly with the Chinese government to deliver the technology. Because we see it as one nation. Chinese Americans are as the same brothers to us as the Chinese. Why should we use one against the other? This is what you got to learn, to bring unity in totality, but just not by name and sections. Yes, there was an attempt to say Mrs. Hillary Clinton was in negotiation, was been to Iran. Yes, she has. I can confirm it as part of the peace negotiation team of Iran. But she was there as a messenger of peace. And if it is to be a peacemaker, bad things to be the next president of the United States, there is something wrong with humanity. I don't agree with a lot of things Hillary Clinton has done, but I can't disagree with what she's done for the peace process. We tried to negotiate many times with the Americans, but it was a deaf ear. She took a bigger step. And she's brought millions of jobs because of this process to the United States. Millions of you in America who are back into work with Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and other oil corporations which making the parts for the refineries in Iran, you owe your job to Hillary Clinton and start of these negotiations. Any questions?
Hello, Mr. Cash. I have a question.
Pardon? Hello?
Can I show something?
Hello, I can't hear.
Can I show something?
What do you want to show? We prefer not to show anything and close on the level we are today and understanding of it. And my message to all of you in Europe or across the world, unite that the religions are one. There is only one God, one creator. Those who benefit by different names of it are the merchants of death. Does not matter what names, what colors, what race you carry. God is the same across the universe, not just on this planet. And it's you who decide the future. My request has been to the Vatican in past 24 hours to protect the priests. And my request to the Islamic world in Europe is to go to the churches from Sunday. Sit there. By the law of Muhammad, bless his name, no Muslim can kill another. So if you are in church, you're protecting the church. Thank you very much for today. And we'll meet you. Hopefully we don't broadcast what we call the Universal Council. Is in the future, people will get access to it the way it's set up. If you want to be the supporter, you have to go to the Keshe Foundation Universal Council and structure yourselves accordingly. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. Okay, any other remaining presentations can be held off till next week. And thank you everybody for attending and presenting things today. This has been the 136th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, September 8th, 2016. Okay, we'll close the live stream now.